All right, hey guys, how are you guys doing this lovely Wednesday evening? First, I want to say thank you for all the recommendations that you guys gave me on today. It truly helped me out. I did get me a plumber, so hopefully everything will be back on the works. But as you can see in the caption below, and I want you guys to shoot me any questions that you have, because this is going to be some great information that I have here. So as you can see in the caption, we're going to be talking about why is my scalp, why do I have flaky, dry scalp? I get this question a number of times, and so this live video is just going to be able to help you guys, and then hopefully it'll be able to kind of put you on a good regimen to kind of clear up some of that. So first, if you are struggling with, and I'm looking at my notes because it is at the end of the day, so I'm a little tired, so I can't remember everything that I wanted to say. So I made myself some little notes. Anyway, so if you do have itchy, dry scalp, of course, we all know that can kind of be uncomfortable because you're not sure what is it, what's causing this, what can I do to relieve it? Is it me? Is it something that I'm using? You know, what's wrong, right? All right, so first we need to first identify that. All right, guys, sorry about that. So first we need to identify what exactly is it. Is it dandruff? Is it the hair products that I'm using? Is it paralysis? Is it eczema? Is it allergy? So you see, it could be several of those indicators or anything of that nature. So it doesn't necessarily mean if your hair or if your scalp is dry or flaky that it's automatically dandruff. So you really need to first identify that. So let's first start talking about how to identify whether or not it's dandruff. So basically what dandruff is, it's basically an overproduction of oil, an increase in normal skin yeast. So that's basically what it is. It's just an overproduction of oil skin yeast, okay? So it builds up onto the scalp, which causes the dry, flaky scalp that you guys sometimes see. So what you want to do in order to treat your dandruff is what I tell a lot of clients who are struggling with this, or someone sends me a PM or DM, however you guys want to call it. I usually ask them, tell me some of the signs that you're seeing. What makes you think it is dandruff? So if you feel like that dandruff is your culprit, then I want you to find a shampoo that contains tar. If you look on the back of those shampoos, it will give you the ingredients that you should be using or that's contained in that shampoo. So look for a shampoo that has tar in it. Also look for a shampoo that has zinc in it, and also sodium sulfide, okay? Now, I do not want you guys to shampoo your hair in this every single day. What I want you to do is really focus in on this scalp. Focus in using these products on your problem areas, okay? Because these type of shampoos can be really drying. So again, you're gonna use these shampoos that we just mentioned. Look on the back of them, look at your ingredients, find a shampoo that contains zinc. Again, we talked about tar and sodium sulfide, okay? So look for shampoos that contain that. Now, I do want you to alternate in between those shampoos, okay? So when you are using one of those shampoos, I want you to put that on before you get into the shower, because that shampoo is really going to be focusing on treating your dandruff, okay? Do not rub it on, massage it onto your hair, because it's really not for the hair. It's mainly focusing on the scalp, okay? Put that on before you get ready to jump in the shower, kind of let it work its thing out, and then you get into the shower and then you start to go into shampooing your hair, okay? What I also want you guys to do is to rotate in between those other shampoos. So you're going to use those shampoos that you find, again, that contain the zinc, that contain the tar, and the sodium sulfide, okay? And you're going to use that at least a couple of times a week to prevent reoccurrence, okay? That's the only way that you're going to help to kind of treat that, using that shampoo that we just mentioned, or those shampoos that contain those ingredients that I just specified. And again, alternating in between your shampoos, okay? I will go back over, so for you guys that are joining on, I'll recap at the end. Okay, if the dry, itchy flakiness continues, I highly, highly recommend that you consult your dermatologist about a prescription. Now, they will probably recommend more topical steroid that you can use. But again, what you can also use is you guys probably know hydrocortisone cream. Go and get you a tube of 1% and put that directly on the area where you're struggling with, where you're noticing the dry and the flaky. Use that. It can't be any harm. It's going to help to kind of clear that up, okay? And you can use that like every 3 to 5 days, okay? Now, if you feel like you don't have dandruff, then it could be your styling products, okay? Now, of course, I'm a stylist. I'm a hairstylist, so I'm going to tell you guys all the gurus about it, okay? So a lot of our styling products, especially our gels, some of our serums, and some of our balms and pomades, can build up on the scalp, okay? And when they build up on the scalp, they can create a barrier, okay? And that barrier will then make your scalp start to flake up. It will make it become more itchy. Also, dry shampoos. Dry shampoos can also help to trigger these dry, flaky scalps, okay? So, look at your ingredients again. Oftentimes, ingredients found in those products that I have just named, or another one I'm going to be telling you guys is our hair colors. A lot of times, hair colors also contain an ingredient called PPD. So, talk with your stylist, ask your stylist about whether or not their colors that they're using contain PPD. That could also increase your dry flakiness in your scalp, okay? And it also could also trigger any allergies or anything of that nature, okay? So, all right, so another way to treat it is consider, and I want you guys to kind of look to see when you feel like that your dry flakiness starts to appear more. Is it when you kind of prolong your shampoos, your washing days, or is it when you use dry shampoos in between? Is it when you're using this one product, or is it when you're using that? So you kind of got to watch it and kind of see what triggers your flaky scalp to appear. If you're noticing that it's between how long you are prolonging your shampoos, then I'll say, okay, increase how often you shampoo it. If you're noticing that, hey, it's just because I'm shampooing every day, then cut back on how often you are shampooing your hair, okay? If there are allergies, if you feel like there are allergies, always consult with your dermatologist, all right? Now let's talk about paralysis. Now, paralysis is a skin condition causes red, flaky, and scaling of the scalp. That one will look a little bit more thicker on the scalp, so that's why we really need to make sure that you identify whether or not it's dandruff, allergies, and all these other ones that I'm going to be going over, okay? This is often treated, now paralysis is often treated by a prescription, so that's something you're going to go into your dermatologist and speak with them about, and they're going to write your prescription in order to treat that. But another thing that you can treat this with along with that prescription is, again, your shampoos. Making sure that you found a shampoo containing coal or salicylic acid. That will also help, and a mineral oil for the scalp. That will also help with if you are struggling with paralysis. What that oil will do, it will help to soften and remove any scales, all right? So look for mineral oil, and also, again, just follow up with your dermatologist. Again, they will often prescribe a topical steroid. Also, what they're going to be able to also help with you guys is oftentimes they can often prescribe or tell you guys different liquids and foam that don't dry as quickly onto the hair, meaning weighing the hair down. So you're going to want to look into using products that don't build up on the hair, don't weigh the hair down. That will also help with this. Eczema, okay, if you are also having issues with eczema, which is a skin condition that causes flare-ups, it's red, it's itchy, it's kind of rash all over the body. Oftentimes this is triggered by fragrances. So a number of times I see a lot of beauty consultants, and they are often advertising or promoting different products that you can use that are fragrance free. I would say definitely reach out to some of them, and if you are struggling with eczema, because a lot of times eczema is triggered by an increase of fragrances, and a lot of times, okay, when we like to shampoo, we like those smell good shampoos. If you are struggling with eczema, That's one of the shampoos that you really want to walk away. Don't go for your fruity or all smell good shampoos and your conditioners. Look for some that are unscented. That means they're not going to contain a lot of those added ingredients into those shampoos. A lot of times what you guys may see is if they're purple, pinks, and greens and all those pretty colors, they have extra ingredients in them, in which that will also trigger your eczema. And always remember, consult with your dermatologist. All right, ladies, we all know that it's important also about our diet. Our diet can also be a trigger to why we're having issues with our hair, with our skin, and definitely with our scalp, because our scalp is basically our skin, okay? What you're eating could also be triggering your dry, flaky scalp. Okay, some foods are high in carbohydrates, which can contribute to an increase in yeast, which means that's going to grow on your scalp. So if you are struggling in this area, think about some of the foods that you're eating. And I always tell my clients, increase your water intake. I cannot stress that enough. It's good for your skin, and it's definitely great for your scalp. That means you're hydrating, okay? The more water you put in, the more it's going to produce, and you're going to be able to hydrate your skin and your scalp, okay? If you are prone to dandruff, cut back, like we said, on the carbs and the sugars. Also, you can take fish oils. Fish oils are also another great alternative to helping with dry, flaky scalps. They are often rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are known to help fight dryness, okay? So pick up some fish oils, okay? You can also take some zinc along with your vitamin A, B, and C, which helps to hydrate the skin and make the skin and the scalp all much more healthier. And again, like I said, always increase in your water, your H2O. All right. So again, let's recap. So if you're struggling with dry, flaky scalp, here are some alternatives or some ways that you can help to treat that. Pay attention to any flare-ups. So that means if you are shampooing less and you're using more dry shampoos, kind of watch it. See when your flare-ups happen. If you're noticing that it's happening like more than you're using your dry shampoos, flip it. Start to shampoo a little bit more. It may take you a little bit of time, but you'll see the benefits in that, all right? But if you're shampooing every day and you're noticing that your scalp is a little bit more flakier, itchy, then cut back on how often you are shampooing. Incorporate scalp soothing treatments in your regimen. We talked about in the beginning some of those shampoos that contain those, what did we talk about? Looking for shampoos that can contain tar, zinc, and calcium sulfide. So incorporate those into your regimen, but also remember you're going to also use your regular shampoo and kind of go in between using those, all right? Deep conditioning masks will be also great for you if you are trying to treat this area. Also, we talked about increasing your water and remembering if you are struggling with eczema or anything of that nature, make sure that you are staying away from fragrance-free shampoos and conditioners. Always consult with your dermatologist. If you feel like you are really struggling with hair loss, thinning, I would say think about some of the products that you're using. Also go and seek your stylist. A number of times your stylist can definitely put you on a great regimen. A number of times it can be based on diet, it can be hereditary, and it can be just as simple as something that you're using that's really blocking your cuticle of your scalp, of your hair, from promoting growth. As long as that cuticle is open, I like to call it the little shingles on top of my roof, then it can promote growth. If I'm stimulating blood, it will promote growth, okay? If that shingle, that cuticle is completely closed when I'm trying to push in my conditioners and my mask and anything like that, it's not gonna promote growth. It's not gonna stimulate that blood flow, all right? So take in consideration when you're noticing your flare-ups. Is it when you are shampooing more often? Is it when you are using your dry shampoos? We also talked about thinking about our styling products that we're using. There's gels, our pomades, our mousses. A lot of times they can build up on the hair, especially if you're not aware of what's in them. So I want you guys to really pay attention to looking at the back of those ingredients and finding out what you're putting on your scalp, okay? So I think that was kind of helpful. Go back and replay this video. You guys were helpful for me. So again, I get several questions about this in my PM, DM, however you want to call it. So I figured I would pass this information along to you guys. Hopefully it's been some help. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to drop a comment below or just simply send me a message, or you can definitely reach out by giving me a call. But that's all I have for Wednesday night. You guys continue to stay safe and well.